What up, guys? Welcome back to Base Damage. I hope everyone is having a great day today, and a Merry Christmas to all of you as well. We have a super special, awesome guest today. Gothmom is here. Say what's up.
What's
There you
up?
go. How is your day going today?
It is warmer than it was yesterday. That's how my day has gone. It is definitely. I know you're kind of getting blasted by the winter storm that hit me yesterday.
Yes.
Yesterday, and it was like I woke up this morning. It was -2 Fahrenheit. I'm like, what is going on?
No.
I have all of the layers.
We got up this I left the house this morning. It was like 49 degrees. Like, as I'm driving like an hour to my destination for like a Christmas get together, I could visibly watch it drop on my like car's like thermometer temperature gauge thing.
Oh, no.
By the time we left, like 3 hours later, it was like 27. Like this is midday. This is like beginning of the morning versus midday. It just started dropping over the course of like the day. It's been crazy. But
oh my gosh, that's pretty old.
On top of that, it almost okay. So when I recorded with Lunchbox a while back, my internet was shitting itself, and I had to go over to Joe's place to record. Today the power goes out. And I'm like, look, okay, does nature just not want me to bring Base Damage back? Like, is it like, no, the podcast needs to die.
Mad.
Yeah, nature's like, no, get the fuck out of here with this shit. No. So I'm like, I didn't know. I'm like, is this a sign? Like, if the third one happens in some shit, if whoever I get on next, if this same shit starts happening again, I'm gonna go, okay, I need to consult like some kind of tarot card person or something.
Yes, you need like the smudge stick and like some kind of like crystals, and like you need a center like yourself, and like what is it, your chakra?
My feng shui of the house is apparently just fucking me over.
Your feng shui is fucked right now.
There you go. It's like, no, you do not need to be building 8 standby. But I want to build 8. It's just like, no, you can't. There's too much. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
But no, for real, it has been forever and a day. I need to look and see which episode you were on last, because I want to say you were on you were on one we recorded with Waifu Wars.
Yes. I believe that was after in Atlanta.
Yeah, after one of the Atlanta regionals. And like I said, I don't even remember what number that was. Like, editing future me is going to look it up and be like, what the fuck? I don't remember which one it was. It's been like super long.
Years.
And it's even longer since I've seen you, obviously, because we saw you at Atlanta. For the last one I saw you was at the team one we had in Atlanta, and we played against each other and you kicked my shit in.
While hungover, mind you.
I know. It's like, oh my god. That was hilarious.
I was like, how am I doing this? I don't know.
No, the craziest shits, you're like, I'm gonna play this, you played like a single character, a climax to give them like a single soul, triggered a double crit for 5 exact death, and I couldn't cancel any of it. And I'm just like,
it was just crazy. God, that match. Oh my God.
It was great though. I enjoyed the entire game, but it's just like, what? It just, everything was just crazy.
Happened?
Yeah. But that entire weekend also was just like really crazy as well, and I enjoyed being able to meet all of y'all for. Like, obviously, I hadn't met Waifu Wars in person at that point until then. Frank as well. I hadn't met him in person until then. It was like a couple other guys, Enrique and a couple of the other guys.
Bean Lee.
I don't know if Stock Soul had showed up for that one. I can't remember if he was there for that one. I don't think he was there.
I don't think so. No.
But obviously, you were there. I remember waking up the next morning at the hotel room. You had fallen between the 2 beds or some shit. And we're just like,
yeah!
Are you alive?
Oh, man, you were there!
Yeah, I was there.
I remember. Okay, it's coming back to me a little bit now. Because you guys shared a hotel room.
Yeah.
I got okay, so it's kind of piecing itself. Because I remember it's like almost like your face and like everyone else's face is kind of like a blur and like a little puzzle or like a mosaic in a way. Like, I remember you being there, but I can't like see you there.
It's all good.
And now that you said that, I was just like, oh yeah. by the way, so there I was.
Okay.
I had,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. But yeah, I passed out on the hotel room that you were sharing with Waifu Wars. I had my own hotel room.
And you
And yeah,
crashed
the
at
night
ours
before,
for that night.
I was on the floor.
Yeah, we woke up the next morning like, how did she even get on the floor? Like, and you were like between the little walkway between the two beds, and you had somehow like
Oh my God.
like oh my god.
Like last thing I remember, so I want to say you guys were leaving to go get food. I vaguely remember a mentioning of like, and I'm already like fading in and out at that time. I swear someone mentioned White Castle. Like I swear
Oh
someone
lord.
mentioned White Castle. I'm not entirely sure though. It's like, oh, we're gonna get burgers or something. My brain thinks White Castle. So I'm just like, yeah, I want blah blah blah, whatever. And then like I want to say, like I remember being in a chair, and that was my last memory. I think I just like passed out. Like as soon as you guys left, I was just like, man,
just it just instant
gone.
shut down. You could hear the windows
It's like,
do 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 do.
actually,
So there you go. that is some. Honestly, I really enjoyed myself that weekend. That was really good memories back then.
oh god, that was.
So, but obviously because of that, as well as just knowing you for a long while at this point, I wanted to bring you in because you just got back from Anaheim, from
I
California.
did.
That is
Mm-hmm.
that is a big thing. One, I am just so glad that we have in-person tournaments again. Obviously,
I know.
I really hate how COVID ruined like a lot of that stuff, and the
Mm-hmm.
in-person tournaments being back is one of the reasons that made me want to start back up the podcast again. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
I get to talk about things. I get to to people
Exactly. And
again.
it's like it's very weird to think like we had a 2-year time skip.
Yeah, I know for real. It's like
Yeah.
this is what happened in Naruto, and I'm just like, what happened with everybody? Like, no, this is.
Oh my god. But yeah, and it's like I remember I did try I oh god, what the first bro I did play in
Mhm.
for some reason. I was just like, sure.
I was going to ask if you had
And
played in that actually. So
I did. I cannot remember what I played at all. I do remember, oh shoot, what was it? I might have played, heck, I have no idea. It might have
okay,
been like, I can't remember when the first bro was and all this other stuff. But what I do remember was playing against a Persona 5 like
okay,
um deck, and God, what is he called?
Joker.
Um yes, Joker. I
Okay.
survived the Joker like
Oh, the level 3 thing. Gotcha.
yeah, it was like he did it like or whatever the combo is like times 5. So I think it was like burn 1 times 5. I cannot remember. Save my life because that was the last time I played against Persona 5. But I
Oh
was
my
just like,
god.
how did I survive this? How did I survive this swing? And then like I got that match and I was just like, I have no idea what just happened. I don't know how I lived through that, but that's the one thing I remember from.
It's one of those things of I should not have won this. I should not have survived
Yes,
this, but but here we are, type thing.
exactly.
Like I heard though with so much of the Bushi Rumble stuff, like me and Lunchbox talked about it for like a smidgen. I heard there
Mm-hmm.
was just so like it sounded like such a clusterfuck for just lack of better words. It just sounded like
Yeah.
such a clusterfuck in terms of them organizing the stuff, people like
Mm-hmm.
gratuitous
Or
amounts of cheating. Like,
oh yeah, and like even receiving their stuff too. I know that took like a
mm-hmm.
while for people to receive those promos and everything. I can't
Yeah.
remember if anything like sussy happened to the first one, but I know like
Mm-hmm.
stuff went down on the last one.
Okay. I know.
Yeah,
I've seen
there's
people
like
make
a
some posts for
cheating
that.
scandal and all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of stuff. Like I remember I watched a I think it was like EU or it was someone from the EU versus the person that cheated. Um, and someone took the time because it was recorded or broadcast or well, it was streamed. It was
Okay.
streamed, and that's kind of like I would periodically like pop in, watch it a little bit, and then pop out, whatever. And it was caught by someone watching the stream,
Mm-hmm.
and then they reported it, and it made its rounds, everything.
Yeah.
I remember watching it, like, weird. I did this. How is this happening right now? Because it was almost like a sleight of hand that was kind of obvious, but like maybe not in the moment it was obvious, but like actually like looking at it, it's just like, yeah, that's kind of obvious.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
got you.
it's so weird. Just like, and like, it's how I think Lunchbox brought up, like, how can you just be like so bold and brazen to just be like,
Yeah,
you're on camera and cheat?
exactly.
So
I
yeah,
firmly
like,
agree with that. Especially like that's one thing with this as well. When I started like listening to like a lot of tournament results for when it was in person stuff, even before the pandemic and everything, you never really heard about like cheating scandal shit. You never really,
oh,
at least I didn't. I'm just like it may have still
oh,
happened. I'm not saying it didn't, but you never really got wind of it like majorly, like in terms of multiple times as well. And with
mm-hmm,
this, it's like your hands are right. There's a camera pointed right at your
mm-hmm.
fucking hands, and you're gonna try it. But when you're in person, you're not gonna try it. Like
Exactly.
I don't
Like
like.
there was the closest thing to like cheating I've encountered would be like, or really like the biggest like bad things to happen at regionals. It was like people not passing jack check because they didn't like write it down correctly, or like
Yeah, to
they
me
said
that's yeah.
XYZ that, or like someone playing cards and saying they have effects that they don't, and blah blah blah. Like that was the most dramatic thing that could happen at regionals.
Exactly.
Um and now it's just like, well, we're gonna cheat online because we can. Yahoo!
Yeah. No, one
Like,
hundred
come
percent.
on now.
Like especially with like, uh, one of the other things that I didn't know about, obviously when we got to talking, it was like, hey, this is a couple notes I'm gonna mention. You're like, oh yeah, I went to like all this different stuff this year. Like I remember going to, like, I've only been to like two Weiss regionals ever. I've been to, I want to say four Yu-Gi-Oh regionals ever, like a long time ago. And even then, I never had that much of an issue with like cheating or stuff like that. I had one instance in the first regionals I ever went to where I forgot to write. I only wrote down that I had one copy of like one particular like synchro monster or some shit, and
Mm-hmm.
I just completely spaced on it. They're like, hey, we're just going to give you a warning because obviously this particular one isn't going to like fuck over the game in any shape, form, or fashion. Just please be more mindful of when you write stuff down. I'm like, yes, sir. But you know, they could
Mm-hmm.
tell because of what it was. Like, okay, he's not trying to cheat here. We think this was a legitimate accident, but we have to give him a warning. so
Yeah,
so
exactly. You
so
have to go through
yeah.
like the whole like steps and
Yeah.
everything.
So I mean, like that, like in terms of like debt check, I know that's gonna happen. Like I can totally understand where, like I said, mistakes are made. You have to write down the specific codes, especially for Weiss, like having to write down the specific codes, and maybe
Oh
it's
yeah.
not the most legible. I can understand with that where
Yeah.
there's a little bit more of an issue. In,
Mm-hmm. Oh my
yeah, but in
goodness.
terms of I'm gonna be fucking David Blaine on camera and try to do sleight of hand, like yeah, no, dude, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
like so,
The good thing versus like the pre COVID or pandemic
mm-hmm.
shutdown, all that, they now have deck log, which is
Yes.
you don't have to worry about your shitty handwriting all over the place. You just click on a picture and say that's good enough, and make sure your numbers are right, and
Mm-hmm.
make sure the rarity's right. That's it. And I'm like, this is the best thing ever. Thank you, Bushy Road.
I have very much liked looking through the deck log stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like say, okay, for a lot of the stuff, and I'm going to bring up the say like the list and whatnot for Anaheim and some of the other ones, like you say you went to.
Mm-hmm.
I only found the singles. I can't find the team stuff, but we'll discuss the team stuff as well at some point later on. I really like how you link to, like, say I'm going to go down to Anaheim real quick. Like the person who got first place with quintuplets, you can just click on it and pull up their
Mm-hmm.
entire deck log thing, and I really, really like this. Also, I looked at this deck list, and Homeboy is just like, I have highest rarity of everything I can get.
Yep.
I'm like, yo, Homeboy representing. I like that. So I've really liked Decklog in terms of that. So very much like appreciated. I'm so glad that's something that got made. Obviously I still use what was it, like Encore decks for stuff like back in
Yes,
the day.
Encore.
Yeah.
I do wish you could search, or it would, instead of knowing like a deck code or something, I wish like Decklog and Encore could make a baby.
Yes.
And like you could just like browse through decks on Decklog or something of that nature. I'm not sure, because there's also the Japanese version of Decklog. I'm not sure if
I didn't know that.
like has the capabilities of being able to do it on the JP side, or if they're both like the same and this, that, and the other. But
maybe so.
That's one thing I wish about Decklog, because pretty much like my decks and everything, I either save through the email I sent to Bushiroad or I will copy and then like save in notes on my phone, since primarily most of my like interactions when it comes to like online stuff or registrations, this, that, or even like Discord, or like 90% on my phone, if not higher. So it's just like, I'll just save this onto my phone. This is fine.
Oh, that's really smart, actually. I do like that. That is actually really smart for that. Okay, let's see. So you said you ran Tokyo Revengers, so you're the one that got second place here, right?
No. I do believe that was Simu.
Oh, no, actually, I do remember seeing that, and I do remember someone making that post. Simu from, was he with Tressus Collectibles, or was he with another group?
I'm not sure who he I don't know who he associates with, if he is like in a group or whatnot. He is a judge, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think it was Tressa that made the post about it, though. I could be that might be what I'm thinking of. But I haven't seen a lot of that. But yeah, he was like, "Oh, I like doing this," but I think he said something about I'd rather judge or something at the end of the day.
Yep.
So
yeah, because like I primarily saw him judging like whole season. Like this is the first time I recall like this year him playing. This year at all was California. Was at Anaheim. Cool. Yeah, I saw him pretty much working at the other events, the ones I went to this year, and I'm like, oh, does he even play? I don't know. I know he dabbles in Weiss, but I do not know if he actually has time to play the game, because he is in a plane going to some event to like judge or whatever.
Maybe they had him like, hey, if some other judges we have don't show up, would you be able to? And maybe everyone was present and accounted for that day.
Just load him up in like a oh god, what is it called? A slingshot, and like slingshot him from California to whatever like regional location. Like,
yeah, that's a good point, because they had some that were like on the same exact days. Obviously, this is like different countries. Say, for the example, the first one I found was like Singapore and Manhattan, New York were on the same exact day on December 11th. So I know they had some of those that overlapped with other ones, like in different countries as whatever. But it'd be funny if it's like, oh, you're in Georgia, we have to slingshot you across the country after we finish Duluth, and now you're in Anaheim, and now back over to Chicago, and just
you're on a world tour and like, everything now. But like I'm not sure about like Singapore and like Asia and like Australia and everything. But I do know from talking to my friends that are in like the UK and Europe region, Bushiroad actually has like, what is the company called? It's like a distributor. I think it's called Blackfire.
Okay.
So Blackfire takes care of like all of those logistics things, and there's not an actual physical Bushiroad. There's official judges that have like passed the judge test, but there's no like Bushiroad employees there.
I got you. Okay. So in terms of if there's any overlap of that, I got you.
Yeah, that's probably what happens. It's like they have like probably Bushiroad like Singapore handles Singapore and like some other stuff, and then whatever other companies that they work with for the other regions, they probably have them like run the soft. They'd have them run the soft. Okay, so that's how it looks like. How are you able to run like 3 regionals on the same day, or what have you?
Exactly. So it has to be like different companies or something of that nature. Konami's like, we learned way back when, Bushi. You have to learn now. So
yes.
Oh my goodness. So I guess getting back to say Anaheim for example, I mean you can say like whatever you want about any of the ones that you went to, but how was for one the overall experience? I know you said you ran Tokyo Revengers at both Chicago, Rosemont, Illinois, and Anaheim. So
Yes, and they were different, more or less different decks. I've been slowly figuring out where I want to go with this deck. So my first, what I ran, well, yeah, since I ran both of them for like Tokyo Revengers for like BCS. In Rosemont, I did like 6-2 Soul 2 Pants.
Okay.
So it was the quote unquote Exodia dual lane whatever with like something happy kind of thrown in.
I got you.
And so I think I did like I haven't gone like crazy or anything. So yeah, it was definitely like really heavy on the okay, I have to do this thing or else something bad happens. And then it's like I leaned heavy on like the whole Exodia, like, oh, I have to do like the Baji combo and the pay and do all this stuff and put all the markers underneath the Mikey and then do the swing. But I noticed with time and with it being dual lane, sometimes, or if I like to eat a lot of damage, like I'm playing Hungry Hippos versus playing Weiss,
okay.
which happened to me at Anaheim. But what I noticed, if I level too fast, if I'm trying to do this Exodia woohoo thing, I don't have enough stock to do that.
I got you.
So what I'm now working with is a 4-2 soul, or split soul, I should say, the 4 split soul, and then 2 or 4 pants. So what I'm leaning, I still have like the Baji 3-2 in there, but I'm not really leaning on him anymore. It's just like, oh, if I have the stock and I have these things, I can do it if I feel like it versus I have to do it now.
Okay.
I added more trial deck stuff to the deck, which is actually has been more fun. So I'm running like the 3-2 Mikey from the trial deck, which is on attack with the climax, the pants climax in the climax area. Opponent puts the bottom 4 cards of their deck into waiting room, and they burn for each climax at IC2.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then also, he's like the only healer in this deck too, because it's like on play, I can ditch a character, double check, yeah, ditch a revenge character, and then I heal from clock to hand, which is interesting. And then like I'm running, it's very much a meme, but it has it didn't win me any games in not Rosemont, but Anaheim, but it has won me games in the past. It's the backup, the level 3 4-cost backup from the trial deck, which is like you ditch 2 cards from your hand and choose a character in battle, and you deal X damage, and X is equal to that character's soul. So it's like, opponent is attacking me, I play this backup, I burn them back for the soul that they're attacking for, and then also that character can do no damage.
Oh, okay.
It's great. It's great. It's very expensive. It's one of those things like you have to have, it's really like generate like a stupid amount of stock in order to be like, I can freely pay for all of this. This is fine. There's no problem. It's like other little things. It's like kind of dual lane is dual lane. I also, since Rosemont, I added the 2-1 Baji and Kazutora, which is level 2 blue, cost 1, but it has 2 soul. And then if it's facing a level 3 on attack, it gains like 6k, so it would become a 12-5. Which is fun. So it helps me like with my resources and stuff. It's not an early play that can get killed. It's not like, it's just a level 2 that costs 1 stock and it has 2 soul. Like it's free. It's practically free. Yeah. Just little things. I'm still tinkering on it though. Like I was talking to a friend after, and like I don't know, it's like I want to either switch out a level 3 or add another level 3 or do something about level 0, but it's pretty much like my climax setup and more or less the bones are there versus like in Chicago, I was just like I read cards before and I was just like, these cards good. I smushed together a deck. These cards think good, maybe. I will try it.
Weiss
And
caveman
like
tactics.
pretty much bang on floor, ooga booga. But yeah, there's like little things.
Hey, look, that strat
I'm
wins
still working
sometimes. I'm
on
just saying.
it does. It does. And like to go into really like this year as like a whole when it comes to tournaments. So I went to 5 regionals this year. So
Yeah.
2 BCS
Hmm.
and then 3 of the teams. And then teams was kind of chaotic for me
All right.
because I didn't play the same deck.
Yeah, you wrote down you got Kaguya-sama,
That was
Hololive. Go for it.
Oh yeah, Kaguya-sama I played in Rosemont. Then I played eight choice Data Live
Oh, okay.
in Newark,
Hmm.
which is like really it was pretty much Data Bullet with the level 1 like what is her name? Because I forget. Katori. Yeah,
Okay.
level 1 Katori combo and like let's see, I had like a couple cards, like the event, like a Tori combo. It was primarily like Data Bullet with like a splash of Data Live.
Okay. Okay.
And then so I was very exhausted by Houston. Like stupid exhausted by Houston. And Hololive had just recently came out around
You.
the
Sorry.
time for deck registration. No,
Hmm.
you're fine. And well, I was still waiting on product to come in. So I registered kind of what the deck I sort of wanted to play, but I kind of built it with what I had.
I mean, that's fair.
So the bones were there of what I wanted to kind of do, which was the Okayu level 1. It was a 8 gold bar.
Okay.
So it had the 3-2 combo, gold bar from Gamers.
Yeah,
Can't
the
remember what
Neo.
it does because
Yeah.
yeah, I've taken it out since then. Um,
Hey, that's fair.
it had the level 1 Akayu, and then the highlight and the cherry on top of this deck, which I've tinkered with it. I'm still tinkering with it. I'm probably going to meme next year for 1 or 2 of the team regions. We shall see. But the Okayu Mill. So
Yeah.
I ran for the Gamers event and the Okayu Mill, and then like in Houston it was the only regional. And also I was just like at that point like we talked and everything. It's like I've been to a lot of regionals in excluding COVID, like a decent amount of time, but like including like the shutdown and everything, it's
Yeah.
just like it seems like, oh, I'm gonna go to 5 regionals a year and do this, that, and the other. Like if it's like back to back to back, I was just tired. And I was just like, I am here and I'm going to do this and I'm not going to like worry about anything. I'm just my highlight is as long as I get to do the Okayu Mill, I am happy with my results. And it's the only regional I did not win a single match ever.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I do not count, we did have a no-show and I do not count that. So it's the only regional I never won a game.
That's fair. I can understand not wanting to count the no shows. That's fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was just like, I'm not counting this. I wanted to see, it was kind of like, oh, what's the term? I wouldn't necessarily say like humbling because I don't take myself that serious in a
Hmm.
sense. It was just like a break from like, oh, I'm going to do this and oh, I'm going to do that. I was like, well, I'm going to mill out your deck. And it's going to make me happy regardless of if I lose or not. And I remember I played against a friend and God, what were they playing? I can't remember. I'll remember later. But like I did the mill and I literally put the fear of God in them. They're like, what is going on? I was just like, well, mill out 24. They're like, what? It's like they were so compressed. They took, God, I wish I should have counted and like took notes or anything, but it's like they took refresh damage. I want to say twice. I can't remember
Holy
exactly though.
shit.
But it was just like they were like so compressed. It's just like, well, just mill out your deck. Just mill out your deck. Keep going. It's like refresh damage, whatever. That's literally the whole point of me running that stupid card was just like, I want you to take refresh damage because it's free. It's just free damage. It's like, God, oh my goodness, it would be so fun to play against a compressed Tokyo Revengers deck. Oh, it's fun. Yeah, I'm gonna play the mill at some point. I don't know when, but I think I'm gonna do that at one of the teams.
Okay. This is definitely interesting. Okay.
It's super fun. And it's like, I have the SRs, but like, it's an uncommon card.
Yeah. If it's the one I'm thinking of, I have to look at it.
It's the Okayu 3-2. Can't remember what it does exactly, but it's just like, yes, do the mill and stuff. Because I haven't played that deck in a while. Because I basically, let's see. It's like when it comes to like the major rotation, it was like, I love my Kaguya deck. And Tokyo Revengers came out and I was like, oh, I like this art, and it kind of like grabbed me. So I've kind of I don't want to say it's my new con type, but currently it reminds me of when I was just like, oh my god, Kaguya, I love this. So that's kind of like Tokyo Revengers. It's gonna stay in the rotation and everything. Next set I would want to play when it comes to the English format would be Azure Lane.
Yes.
If and when it comes to English, but we shall see.
That's understandable. One of the other guys from our group a long while back, he is like the most avid Azure Lane fan that I know in terms of like my close circle of friends. And so I'm like, hey bro, you know they're getting a set, right? Because he doesn't keep up with like the Weiss news as much. He's like, don't you dare, don't play with my heart like that. I was like, yes. Yeah. I said, so far in JP, there hasn't been a confirmation. Has there been actually, before I say this, has there been a confirmation for English, or is it still up in the air?
It is still up in the air.
Okay.
Okay. I do have my assumptions just because like Azure has the mobile game in English and all this other stuff, and also like because of all the arts and everything, I do anticipate it coming out in English, but it could be like, it's just one of those things like, oh, it could be a year from now or whenever.
I mean, it took 7+ years for us to finally get the power up sets, it's like,
I know. I've been waiting. Like, I wasn't even like, I have Kill a Kill cards and I was just like, well, I just have these. And then it's just like, oh, power ups. And I was like, well, now I actually have to build the deck because I ordered one. And like, is it going to be great and competitive and do all this whatever?
I don't
know. But is it going to be cool to have? Yes.
All the Haruhi players can finally now have the swing set events. Like, they can finally say, yes, free the swing, type thing. I'm not a big player for it, but I saw that they were getting... Well, one, obviously I was keeping up with it when like Haruhi say first got brought over to English, and it's like, oh, you do not get this event. It is banned. It's like, oh, okay, we're probably just never going to get it then. And they're like, hey, we're going to give you the power-up sets. But here, we're going to slide this to you, just please don't hurt us, Like, it's not going to do jack shit now, guys. What the fuck? So,
I know. It's like a piece of nostalgia, I think, like a little bit like a bone to throw to like the people that wanted it, because there were so many. I wasn't one of the people who's like, oh, bring over the power up set. I was just like, oh, that would be cool. But there was many people I've seen over time since like those came out, and like people were like, Bushi, bring it over to English. So I'm sure they're like stupid happy about this.
Absolutely.
And I'm just like, yes, it gives me a reason to actually build this Kill a Kill now.
Yeah. Like, I know people when Log Horizon, that being one of the other sets that's getting the power up set. I remember when Log Horizon came out, like there was like 2 or 3 people at our locals that were like, yo, I love Log Horizon. I need this in my life, something fierce. And that got them into Weiss. And then like one of the guys who helped run the tournaments at the shop, that was like his thing. He's like, I am going balls deep into Log Horizon. He got like all the good stuff, like all the like the level 3 Akatsuki's and everything. He was getting like the foils of them and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he was one of those that's like, yo, are we getting the power up sets for this? And I'm like, yeah, about that, home slice. Because he's like, I know there's these other cards, but I can't find them anywhere. Where do they? I'm like, yeah, bro. Well, I hate to break it to you. I had to sit him down, and he had to go through some therapy that day. Anyway, no,
no,
no. I joke, but it was like. It was that thing of, there's a bunch of good shit that you're just not going to get. He's like, I don't care. I still have the deck. So I know he is like jumping for joy at that. So I know he is very happy for that. So,
go
for
it. I know I completely went off on a tangent covering like the whole year, but
it's all good.
Anaheim. I can talk about Anaheim. I can't tell, like, I know I have, like, usually what I do is put in my notes on my phone, like, oh, I did this versus blah, 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 and this, that, and the other.
Yes.
But, like, when it came to Anaheim, and I briefly mentioned eating damage, like I was playing Hungry Hungry Hippo. So, like, I did not do well. I did not do well, but God, did I have fun.
That's the important thing, right? I mean...
Yes. And, like, also, when it came to Anaheim, it was the first time I had a buy card. So I I saved my buy card for it. It's first time getting one. And I was like, oh, I'm going to use the buy card. Anaheim, blah, 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 blah.
Hell yeah.
And, like, I didn't take it in, like, a very, like, oh, I'm going to do all this, like, crazy stuff. And I'm just going to drag everyone. And I'm going to go to top 8. It's like, that's kind of like a general sense to me playing or really traveling and going to regionals and everything. I was like, I said it a lot at Anaheim, and I've been saying a lot even before Anaheim. I was like, I am here for a good time, not a long time. So it's like, I'm here to turn sideways, eat some good food while I'm out of town, and maybe I get a play mat. Maybe I don't. Maybe I win. Maybe I lose. Like, I don't get, like, super stressed out about it and everything.
That's fair.
So Anaheim, I had a 2-round breakfast. I so I went, I mobile ordered Starbucks. I went, got my coffee, like a group of us went, I had buy cards or whatever. We all went, we got our Starbucks, we come back, we're chilling. I had time to like oversleeve my deck, which I appreciated. All this other stuff. Round 3 is actually let's see. Round 3 was the Hololive that went to top 8, if I remember correctly. Okay. It was the Kanata Marine.
Yep.
So round 3, that was actually a very I don't want to like oversay and be like, oh, it was a super intense game and everything, but that was actually like a really exciting game for me. Like, we're just like back and forth, and then my opponent won. And I was just like, it was just super close. They said they got like really lucky, and I was just like, that was cool. And like, it was just so back and forth. I was like, I don't know who's gonna win. And then
I love those kinds of games though. Like
yes.
Like you don't like. You see that happen so much in other games. Sorry to go off on like a tangent for a half second here. You see that so much in other games, in other card games, MTG, Yu-Gi-Oh, and whatnot, where so much of what I see is people just building up that board of this being a one-sided stomping. If you do not draw the out, you are fucked. And I love that about Weiss being a back and forth. There is no such thing as a one-sided stomping. I say that I have one example of that I'll say and I'll tell later, but I've never truly seen it's just never that. It's never a one-sided stomping in my mind. It's always a back and forth.
Yeah, it's always like a back and forth. Like every now, like what the term I hear and I've used a lot is like, it's like, that's why sometimes it's like sometimes you just don't cancel and you level up and oh my god, you're dead. But like that's the nature of the game. But even you could walk in with a trial deck, win a tournament.
Oh, 100%.
Like that sort of thing. That's what I love about this game. It's like anyone, as long as they like learn the game or even like kind of learn the game and they just go for it. That they, like, anything can happen. It's like, yeah, there's crazy combos. Yeah, there's burns. Yeah, there's a bunch of crazy effects and this, like, fireworks up in the sky and, like, magician, like, woo, other stuff. But it's still like, you have a 50 card deck. You have up to 8 climaxes. And, it's just like you have that luck factor, which is so fun and exciting for me. But no, I did lose, like, so I went, including the bye.
Okay.
I went X4.
Which the bye is only for the first round, just to make certain.
No, sir. No,
is
it
not first round?
It's up to 2. Depending on how many players. So Anaheim was total, there was 25 people with bye cards. Including, so it was 188 players, including the 25 people with bye card.
Okay.
For Anaheim.
Okay.
And we had 7 rounds.
Is that a change to the ruling on that? Okay. I ask this.
I think it's like, if it's like 6 rounds, it's 1 round. And then if it's more than 6, it's 2 rounds. I'm just guessing from what I read, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
But to the best of my knowledge, it's up to 2 rounds.
Okay, because the first Atlanta regionals I ever went to, one of the other guys that went with us, Taylor, who actually got into top. I want to say he got I think he got 3rd place in the overall tournament at the very end. I want to say because he had got the buy card from our shop. I want to say when they went up there, he's like, "Hey, when do I use this?" I want to say then that may have been, like you said, because of the round number. I think they told him then he had to use it first round, but that may be because of what you just said in terms of the number of rounds they had already found out. This is how many people we're going to have. So
this is how many people. This is how many rounds. That sort of thing. Because even before, some people, once it was registered, they like clipped the edge of my buy card off and gave it back to me. Okay, I'm good. The buy is in. I remember Chicago.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly what happened. I didn't have a buy card. I had friends that had buy cards. I was just there to play. So round 1, I had a little bit of it, like, not necessarily anxiety, but a little bit of hesitation about, like, oh yeah, you took my buy card, and then going to get breakfast. Because at Chicago, there was some kind of technical difficulty or a difficulty of some nature that round 1 had to be repaired 3 times. Yeah. So round 1 got repaired 3 times. I want to say at one of those rounds, like, or maybe 2 of them, like, buys were getting added or buys weren't completely in the system or something. I heard something involving, like, people with buys. Okay. I'm not entirely sure, but I was there for 3, like, repairings. I can confirm round 1 got repaired 3 times.
Jeez.
It's just like, oh, we're paired. Okay, never mind. Oh, we're paired again.
Were you like mid-game? Were you like mid-game for any of those?
It was literally like the first 2, because we've had, like, I vaguely remember, like, having to have a round repaired, like, once.
Okay.
Vaguely. I couldn't tell you when or whatever. I do remember there was some, like, a repair that happened at some point.
Okay.
But so what happened is, like, we were in Mulligan, and then they were like, we weren't, like, I don't think anything started, but we were in Mulligan. So the first one I was in Mulligan, second one I was in Mulligan, third one I just waited.
You're like,
the
I've
final
learned.
one I was just like, I am not doing anything. So the third and, like, final one, because it was like 1 repairing, 2 repairings, and then the final 3rd repairing. Yeah.
I just see you sitting there like Cat Williams just going, wait for it.
I know. I was pretty much after, like, the repairings, and, like, I could just be miscounting it because it was just chaos. I was just like, I was already over it.
Okay.
And I was just like, I don't care how I do now. I'm not even going to be like, brr, I'm just going to turn cards sideways and see what happens. I'm just going to go caveman. Just go burr.
Yes.
I'm not going to put any thought, any mind to it. And then I played against like Quince, and I was just like,
Yeah.
"Yep,
It's like, I'm sorry,
this is how it's gonna be."
it's like the brain rot shouldn't be kicking in until like round 4 or 5. What the fuck?
Exactly,
But it's
exactly. I'm
already
just like,
kicking in.
my brain's already gone. I'm just like, I'm just here at this point. But yeah, it was crazy. So I had a little bit of hesitation about leaving until like pairings were put up, and
Yeah.
then like I do like the location of Anaheim because like you're right across the street from Disney, so there's a bunch of
Oh,
like food places and everything. So like round trip, there was a little bit of a walk because like the event was on the third floor, so it's like get down to the outside, walk. It
yeah.
was like a 15-minute walk, like one way to Starbucks. And sit there, everyone ordered their stuff. I already had my stuff because I did a mobile order because big brain place. And
Exactly.
so I was just eating and chilling, and then they got their stuff, and we kind of chilled for like maybe a couple minutes, and then started walking back. Which I really, yeah, I do enjoy. I don't think like from like a perspective of someone that had a buy card, I do think in like if you have multiple rounds, and also because it was only 7 rounds, a lot of include people, including myself, just by the statistics and like the amount of people that were playing, as soon as you were X1, like you mentally, like it was a percentages game, but the likelihood of you making top cut
Yeah.
were with even like buy cards, the buy cards would like rank higher and everything, but even like with like that, like your chances of going to top cut, unless like your percentages were like great, were very slim. So
Hmm.
as soon as like I lost, I was just like, well, I'm probably not going to top cut. The playmat would have looked like
Yeah.
been cool, I guess. Quince isn't like my anime thing. Like the only, oh, this is gonna be great. So
It's all good.
the
We are here for
only
controversial takes. Go for it.
yes, the only bit of Quince I have watched was the movie that just came out.
Hey, it's all good. We're getting that set eventually too, so I say that.
I have only watched the movie. I have looked at the cards and be like, ah, yes, I like that girl that may or may not have won. The game of whatever they that may have happened. So
Yeah.
no spoilers.
I
But yeah,
so
so
want
I was
to
just like,
so
ah,
bad.
yes, oh yeah, I could just be like her or sad face.
Yeah.
But my the highlight of going to see the movie is like my friend was actually like they invited me out, and he
Hmm.
actually watched Quince, and then he was upset and because of the ending, and I was just like, this is a cool movie.
You're like, wow, I had fun. Meanwhile, he's like, fuck. No.
It's just like, oh my, I very very controversial like anime movie happenings, because like even when it comes to Fate, like in Heavensfield, the only
Hmm.
Heavensfield movie or any like fraction of Fate I have interacted with would be the last Heavensfield movie of the whatever the trilogy. And I
Okay.
was like, oh, this was a pretty good movie.
I,
And all
I
my friends were like, how were you able to like, I was like, well, this movie can actually stand on its own. So I understood like basically what was going on the whole time. They're
which
like,
is
how? And I was just like, oh.
which is great. If, like, okay, I do like Quince, but
Mm-hmm.
I am a avid Fate fan. So hearing that, also just a part of me is just like slowly dying inside. But it's like, as long as you say you could enjoy it, then you're like, oh, I was able to
Yeah.
follow everything that was going on. It's like, okay, okay, that's good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I will say all of the movies are like just. I'm sorry. I'm also a Ufotable fanboy, like 100%.
I got you.
So I absolutely love everything they did for all the movies as well. So just
Mm-hmm.
side tangent thing there, but it's like, okay, I'm not that big into Quince. I'm not that big into Fate. It's like, that's fair. I only watched the third Heavensfield. Oh,
Yep.
I am I it's that
I got
just
I have the hot
emotional
take.
damage meme, just like done. No,
But
I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
just like certain just certain things like that. I'm just like I can separate, like there's certain sets in Vice
Hmm.
that I've been like, oh my god, I have watched the series or something. I
Hmm.
must get it
100%.
because Animu. And then
Yeah,
there's other ones I'm just like, I like this artwork. This is dope.
yeah. It's
and
like,
get it. I've
yeah,
never touched the series, never. It's kind of like the 50-50 most of the time. Well, actually, I built Tokyo Revengers before I even finished the season one.
I mean, that's fair.
To
Like,
be
I
to
haven't
be
watched any
honest,
of it. Like, to be fair, I haven't watched any Tokyo Revengers. I know
yeah,
nothing of it.
like I can actually like say that like I maybe watched like one episode, maybe
Okay.
two episodes, and then I was just like build deck. I was like, and then the deck and like the artwork and everything. I was like, oh my god, I need to finish this show, and that's kind of what's gotten me. Like Zombieland Saga, I watched before like it came out in JP, or
Yeah.
that was the second season of Revenge or whatever came out in JP. So there's certain things that have either like sets that have either gotten me into the particular anime show or game, whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's been some I'm just like, I must get it. Like when it comes to me starting the game, the whole reason I am playing Vice is because so my first set and the set I played when we played
Mm-hmm.
in teams was Kantai.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I bought into this game and the only reason I bought Kantai was because I love World War I, World War II.
Okay.
Plus, I like boats. Like in general, I'm just like, oh my god, naval shit. That is the whole reason. It was, and then the big titty waifu, whatever, boat girls, woo
Yeah.
woo woo. It's kind of like the third, but primarily the only like what got me into the game, the hot take, the big take, the whole reason how I got into this game was because of World War I, World War II, and naval shit. And you just slapped it on anime girls.
Yeah.
That was it.
Which
That's what got me into the game.
which mine was the total reverse. I had never heard of Kantai until Weiss.
Oh, I just saw
Yeah.
like isn't even like the game or
Yeah.
anything. I recognized the classes of like the boats and like the ships and everything. I was like, oh my god, it's a blah blah blah. Oh my god, I love this art. I need to get into this. And that's kind of what set me down the road.
It's just one of those moments you could just like, all right, I'm just gonna take my wallet. I'm just gonna throw it in the trash can because
Pretty much.
I'm
I was like,
basically gonna waste money.
oh. Yeah, and it's just like I've wanted to. I know that like in my heart of hearts, I do not expect fifth phase to come out in English because it's been so long. But like
Yeah.
I've toured the USS Iowa, and I wanted to be like, oh, I want to like take like an I almost called it like the USS Iowa, an Iowa SP to the USS Iowa in California. And they'd be like, behold, the Iowa is on the Iowa, ha 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 ha. And like that kind of naval nerdy shit.
That's about as
Yeah.
bad as me taking the fucking the level 3 female Titan and getting it signed by the English voice actress for Annie.
Oh my goodness.
That's to the same degree in my mind. I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Annie didn't get an SP. We gonna make one for her.
Exactly.
So it's just that level of yeah. Okay, so here fun thing with that too. My buddy Rex, who is also like you said, he's big into Azure, he's big into Kantai, and he also is of that same mindset. He loves a lot of the warships themselves and whatnot, and he's done so much research on that stuff. He's so knowledgeable in it. So I'm a truck driver at this point, and he also picked up his CDL and became a truck driver as well. So there were times we would be driving by like major port cities or whatever, and we would see there was one in Alabama or whatever, and just like he is freaking out as I'm driving. He's like, "Is it here? Is it here?" And he's just like looking in, like frantically searching the ports, looking for it, like trying to find that. So it just was like it was really cool. I love seeing that kind of enthusiasm though. But I'm just like, bro, please do not tilt the truck over. You know, just like come on, man. Gotta be careful on that shit.
Oh my goodness, I remember. Shoot, when was it? It was not for regional, but last year I went to a concert festival whatever thing. And I flew to Virginia.
Oh wow.
And like friend picked me up and whatnot, and then I remember they lived by like a good, so like God, was it Newport? I want
Is it
to
Newport
say.
or okay?
Uh, shoot. Let me think. Or I have to look it up real quick. Newport,
It's all good.
uh, Virginia. Maybe I just have to see boats. So like, or no, Norfolk, not Newport. I knew it began with an N. So like Norfolk,
Yeah,
Virginia,
Norfolk.
it
Yeah.
lots of boats because like Navy and everything, they're fucking shit. I remember us on the highway. He's driving, and I just look and I see ships, and I'm like, oh my god. He's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Like, are you
What is
okay?
going
It's like,
on? Are you
no.
okay? I was like, oh my God. I want to go look at the boats.
I
We
must go
didn't.
see my waifus.
I was like, I must go look at the old boats and the ships and everything and blah, 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 blah. So it was really enjoyable to like, so I understand like your friend be like,
Hmm.
oh my God, is it here? Da, 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 because I got to actually be like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I see a boat.
Yeah. Absolutely. Or even if we were going just even on like other portions of the highway, there would be towns, the town names that the certain boats or whatnot are named after as well, and we'd see those as well, even if we weren't near a port or whatever. Uh, I'm trying to think of one or two of them, but I can't off the top of my head. I just remember seeing like a sign that says exit such and such for this town name, and Rex would be like, "Oh, I know that boat," and I'm like, "Wait, that's also like wait, that's also one or whatever." Like from like Azure or whatever. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do like about Azure versus Conti.
mm-hmm.
And what I really liked about like the game and also like it came out in JP and whatnot was I like Azure over Conti because Azure has more boats and like ships and subs and
they
this, that, and the other versus Conti.
they do. I just my okay. My only gripe with Azure, and I'm certain you're going to share this sentiment, is the fucking limit of the spaces of the dock spaces.
Mm,
In
hmm.
terms of like like it gets to a point where it's like unless you spend money, I just couldn't. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
I'm not here to bitch about that. I enjoyed the game a lot, and for the time that I did play it, like on mobile or whatever, I enjoyed the shit out of
Hmm.
it. It just got to the point of I don't have the space to get any new boats whatsoever. I'm just like,
Yep. Any new stuff or unless you have
So
to like expand it and everything. Yeah, like
yeah,
when I first started, I can't remember what level or whatever happened. My phone broke for some. I had to restart the game. Luckily, the first go around, I didn't have any money invested into it,
yeah.
so it was kind of whatever. But I was kind of sad about losing like votes. But so now I'm on like my second go around, and like I just dabble primarily. It's just like do this, do that. Oh, there's an event I find interesting, sort of thing. But I might get a higher level again. I might not. I'm kind of like tinkering with a new event dropped yesterday, and I'm like, oh. And then I got like like was getting completely like dragged by a stupid building, and then I got like some boats I wanted. I was like, okay, this is fair. It paid off. I got boats.
Remember, kids, they don't sink. Those who get that
They
shout out, they
don't.
know. They know what it. They know. Anyway, so you're welcome, Connor. That's the only one you're getting.
I
Anyway,
know.
no, I'm just kidding, man. Nah, for real. Oh man, no, no. See, I don't mind going on these tangents either, because like, once again, like
I
even with
know.
Azure, it's going to be relevant, with Weiss. So I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I don't
Yeah,
mind.
it's really whatever.
Yeah, which most definitely, like, say when that, like, when more of the translation stuff comes out, I think most of the stuff's been translated at this point on like Weiss Tea Time. I need to go through all of it.
I think
Heart of the Cards doesn't
shoot.
have it yet. When I checked earlier.
Part of the cards, something's been going on like past couple sets. It's just been like it's taken months for them to post
Mm-hmm.
the translations, but it should be online somewhere with the
Yeah.
translations. If not, check on they have been being posted. There should be a file on Global.
Oh, on global. Okay.
Um, yes, that has the full card list. And it should like have like translations and stuff as well, or there's a hyperlink or something. I swear, I think I saved
It's all good.
when I saw it. I was like, good.
Which to add to that, since the last time I spoke to you, you become one of the admins on Weiss Global as well.
I did.
So how has that experience been? Because I just kind of stand back. I don't check Facebook as much anymore, more than I should, especially when I'm out on the road. I just don't fucking check it. But when I'm back home, I'm like, oh, let's see what's on Facebook nowadays. And I just see like, yeah. So I just see random stuff for that like every couple weeks. Like I'll randomly see stuff. So for the most part, like I know... I know a lot of it's been like, oh, here I finally, like you said earlier, where a lot of people are just now getting like promos for stuff. I saw a dude post up. It's like, oh, here's the promos from the Bushiroad Rumble, like earlier this year. I'm selling the play set type thing. I'm like, bro, you just got these now? What the fuck?
No.
So,
I know. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, it's been like, okay, I will. Mm-hmm. I know, like, with that whole admin thing, whatnot, in the past, I have said, because, okay, so, from a girl perspective, Alex has mentioned this, like, not publicly, but he's, like, one of the 23 girls out of, like, 13,000 sort of thing. So it's, like, the schwimmen percentages are low.
Schwimmen. I'm like, wait, what?
The schwimmen.
Which, okay, no, you could that works because you can have the Schwarz women, schwimmen. There we go. Anyway,
yes.
The schwarmen. No, I don't know. I'm making sure. The schwarmen.
That's true. That's true. Shawarma. Yeah. So like, for the longest time, I would say, like, oh, we need, like, a girl, like, mod or something. Because I started, like, I got brought in as them.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I don't want to bring on a serious subject or any representation of whatever matters. Mm-hmm. And I would always say, like, oh, we're never going to have, like, a girl mod. We're never going to have, like, a girl admin. And then I was actually messaged and invited, like, hey, would you be interested with that? And it was maybe like a month after, because every now and again, like in the past, I would mention it. And like maybe last time I mentioned it in a joking manner, I was like, oh yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's never gonna happen. Blah blah blah. And then not even, it had to have been a month later. It's like I was asked if I was interested, and I was kind of just like shaking. Because it's almost like one of those things is like, I was just not like, it was extremely, not necessarily overwhelming or anything. I was just kind of like, or not even sidelined. It was just like, holy shit kind of things. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just one of those, like, you're not expecting it. It happens. You're not expecting it to really be like you, even though, like, ever since, like, with, like, the shutdowns and last time we saw, it's like I've just been doing, like, oh, I'm this, like, I view it in a very meme-y sense. It's like, oh, I'm Gothmom. I bring the snacks and the Band-Aids to the regionals. Connor, have you drank water? You dehydrated? Curse word. And,
oh, you can cuss up here. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's like, how many times have I called him dehydrated, bitch? I do not know.
I mean, hell, the first time the first one I ever went to, he had, like, fucking food poisoning. I'm like, bruh.
Yeah.
Please, and that's be careful.
Like, yeah, and he had food poisoning. I remember we played in well, I didn't play Connor in finals, but our teams played in finals. So he had food poisoning. I was hungover, and it's just like, this is a match made in destiny.
For real. It's only in Weiss Schwarz could the stars align as such. So.
And I bring it up every now and again. It's like, Connor, we should redo, like, Atlanta teams. And he's like, no. I was like, well, you can be hungover and I can have food poisoning. I've never had food poisoning before, but we can try really hard. He's like, no.
No, I don't want to.
Have it your way.
Look, I don't fault him on that one in one bit, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like I've never had, like, food poisoning or anything, so
So, I don't think I ever have. Anyway, we'll get onto it.
Yeah.
No, there's.
But
yeah,
I will continue to go on tangents.
Go
It's
for it.
been
It's all
when
good.
it comes to like the admin thing and everything, it's been like not necessarily we've had stuff happen in the past. It's very a lot of like being like helping people.
Yeah.
And it's like I've already like done that in the past. Like I help my friends, I do help people at regionals and that. So it's kind of like a second nature sort of thing. It's like, oh, let me try to help you. And then some things like with any like job or role or like anything of that nature, like it comes with responsibilities. And so it's been all around. I'm happy. Like with any job, it's just like, rah, old man guy, like, why is this happening? And blah, 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 blah. But like, I think that would happen, like, even like a regional or not even like being in like some kind of oh God, like a important role within like one of the largest Weiss groups on Facebook, I guess. Or being like, it's kind of like.
It really is. Yeah.
Like I view myself like from a player perspective and like this personality thing. It's like I get asked to sign cards. I before like the admin or maybe like right before that, it's like I would get, oh, can you sign this? So I was like, sure, why not? It's like I kind of don't think of it in like some kind of like huge like I'm this important person and you should know who I am because my ego is huge. And I'm just like, so it one of those things where it's like, yeah, I do this, and I'm also like admin and one of the admins because we're all admins now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's just one of those like it just is, and it's like part of like this experience and this journey within like playing this game and playing Weiss and traveling and talking to people. So it's been a lot of fun, like, but it's kind of it really is what it, because like it's like, oh, this will never happen in general, and then it's like, oh, it happened and it's me. So that's still one of those things. It's just like, oh, well, shit.
You spoke it into existence.
Yeah. So that's kind of like, it's like, oh, it gives me chills. It's just like, it's really just like, well, damn.
Oh, I mean, I'm obviously glad you're up there now. I know I have to behave, otherwise I might get banned. I'm just messing. So
be like, what did you just say to me?
It's like, yo,
a lot of the times I could.
Yo, Kate, I heard that you made that one. I heard your opinion on that one podcast episode. Yeah. I heard what you said.
Mute.
Just mute for like 30 days or some shit. I don't know.
30. No, I think it's like at most it could be like 24, 28 days, something of that nature.
It's close enough, but I mean, that's still that is wonky.
Like, I'm gonna suspend you.
It's like you don't get to it. I'm just like, no.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the times, like, because just like even reach out to me and ask questions. It's not like something serious. It's like, oh, I saw that you were doing blah blah blah, and I have this question. It's like, oh yeah. And a lot of, if something happens, something unsavory happens, and I know this person, I could just be like, I am greatly disappointed in you, and it's like. It becomes that Gothmom persona. It's like, you have disappointed me, and then they're just like, oh no, and I'm just like, that's what I thought.
It just makes me think of that one Simpsons meme that's like the dude from Simpsons is just looking down going, pathetic, you know, just it makes me think of that one meme. Just it's all the disappointment.
God, I have so many reactions, and it's like a lot of it's from Blend S and Micah-san. It's like, oh, super sadistic Micah. It's just like, disgusting, pathetic. And yeah, I've collected a bunch of reactions. It's just like, I'm thinking about something. I see a post and I'll just post a picture so I could like, I get notifications for it. So I don't have to be like, a lot of the times, like, shit will go down while I'm at work and I'm not supposed to be on my phone while I'm on the floor. So it's just one of those things. I'm just like, oh no, getting notifications on my like Apple Watch thing. I'm just like, well, this is gonna have to wait until I go to lunch or break or something. Hopefully the world doesn't burn down.
Hope this wasn't important. Just...
I know. I was like, I hope someone's not dying. Please God. What happened? It's really, yeah, it's kind of elevated my like this mom persona I get that's been bestowed upon me. It's just like, like, oh God, what is it? Like the kids are like tearing up shit or like running in like the living room. It's like, sit the fuck down.
That just makes you think, it's like, that should be fine. I should be able to leave that. No. It makes me think of the, what was that other meme? I was going to say How I Met Your Mother. That's not right. That's not right. 2.5 Men, where it's just like, I feel like I forgot something. Well, if you forgot, it probably wasn't important. It's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it just says Weiss Global for the sun, just sitting there.
Yep. That's actually a really good meme idea, but...
So.
Yeah, it's been fun. And I like doing silly posts. Like, I'll do post engagement things. It's like, get people talking. Because I do hear back, like, people, like, a lot of things have kind of not twisted, but kind of leaned towards, like, the selling or, like, they're buying. It's kind of like a buy-sell group. It's like, well, we need kind of, like, some engagement or, like, what are your thoughts on this? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
This, that, and the other sort of thing to kind of break it up, which is, I'm very privileged to be able to contribute to that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, I know I did like a couple, and like I kind of like, I definitely have said, like, if I post make a 2-second meme on my phone and then I post it on global, and I'm just like, well, time to ship post to kind of like see what happens. And so that's it's fun. Like, I never really beforehand was kind of like crazy spicy in the comments on stuff. So that it's not like one of those, like, you do have a responsibility to kind of be a representation, like a representative of the community, but also like you want to, like, with me, like, I can't be a fake person. Like, it's like, this is my personality. Sometimes I can like change my voice or do this, that, and the other, but it's like, it's always going to be like this person. It's like, I can switch to professional or whatever, but in the core, it's still going to be this person. So that's why it's like, I might do like a little meme, or I might ask questions or do this, that, and the other. It's like Alfred, one of the other admins, is allergic to cats and hates cats. So now I've taken upon myself to, if there is an engagement post, especially when it comes to, I've been doing like on the first of the month, we made a decision, rip and ship posts, so it didn't get like, the feed didn't get bogged down. It's like, you can post them here. Well, now it's been like, so we started that like 2 months ago, and it's been, or like last month, it started last month. And it's now cats, because Alfred doesn't like cats. And so I was like, well, I'm going to just start using anime cats. And then this month was Azure cat boat ship thing. Can't remember her name off the top of my head because there's just so many. I can see the picture I used in my brain. But I was just like, well, I'm going to do this. And I was like, this is for Alf. I mentioned it somewhere on there and pinned it. So yeah, every month I do that. It's going to be a different anime cat just for Alfred. And because I can.
Just alternates between like different cat VTubers and whatnot. Just like, here's
pretty much. Next month will probably be Okayu. That's a really good idea.
Yeah. There you go. That was the first one I thought. I was like, I'm just going to share anime cats. So I was just,
it's like, I think the first one, was Nekopara. This one is Azure. I'm just finding different anime cats.
You just send him a specific one that's just the picture of Okai is like, you want to touch the secret tum-tum, Alfred.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that card's great.
That is I was like, yes, please. See, okay, that was one of the things, like, obviously I realized I'm looking at the time and we're perfectly fine. I don't mind going a bit longer, but you were talking about, like, before, like series that got you into a certain thing, or like you were into ships and then you found it was in Weiss, or I found Kantai in Weiss and I was like, oh, this is an actual series. So during COVID, I got addicted to two things during COVID because I couldn't play card games. I had to find a new outlet, which was Final Fantasy 14 and VTubers. And the biggest thing for that was Hololive. So I was like, oh, this is obviously there's like a lot of the different ones I watched, like the indie VTubers and whatnot, Niji Sanji and all that. But then Hololive was like the big one, especially when they released the English branch. So then it's like, oh
yes,
we're getting this in Weiss. Wait, what? Me and my buddy Moroku were both like, oh, this is gonna break us hard. We're like we're just looking at this like, oh no, the prices like, oh, like it we were like refreshing Ideal 808's page like every day to see when like pre-orders would drop for stuff and everything. We're just like, is it ready? Is it ready? Is it ready? To the point that when it finally did, I almost fucked up and bought the JP stuff instead of the English.
Oh, yeah.
We got the, like, obviously I realized it right before I hit pay. And I'm like, oh, wait.
Oh, good.
This is not it. Fuck. Back out. Cancel. And we just, okay, find the English stuff again, put the correct quantity. Just, so that's one of those things, like you said, you found like, oh, you were into like the ships and whatnot. And you're like, oh, and this is in Weiss? Huh. Meanwhile, I'm like, oh.
This is in card game?
This is in card game form? And, yeah, like VTubers and Hololive, that was what happened for me. It's just like, oh, Hololive and the premium boosters and all that. Oh, it hurt my wallet so hard. So I understand. Sorry, I wanted to say that earlier, and then I realized we got off on other tangents as well. But
yes, we'll just, it's like a completely like a total tree of different branches with different tangents and everything.
It is perfectly
and like
fine.
That reminds me too, when it comes to like Weiss and like card games and stuff, like the only experience I had before playing this game was way back in the day. We're talking early 2000s. I dabbled into Pokemon when like it kind of hit the scene, and I can tell you it's almost like back in my day we used to play Pokemon without sleeves on top of like Transformers, and we use the Transformer as a table.
And it's just that meme of the kid helping the grandma. Okay, goth grandmom, we're gonna help you get back to your house now. It's just, back in my day, we had the basic energy cards, and that was it. So I feel you on that one.
It's just one of those things. Like I dabbled in it, and then I moved, and then I didn't touch card game until like a couple years ago, or like 6 years ago, and that's really it. It's like I knew about card games and like everything going on, but it did like nothing grabbed me. I should say.
And that's kind of how it was with Weiss. I was the opposite. I was trying to dabble in as many as I could before the podcast was ever a thing. Before I even knew what Weiss was. Obviously, I was trying to get into. I was major into Yu-Gi-Oh. Obviously, MTG I dabbled in. Force of Will. I know there's probably gonna be a lot of people who don't even know what the fuck that is.
I have some so I tried playing Weiss and Force of Will at the same time, and then I was just like, oh yeah, and like I kind of like I grabbed some Force of Will cards for art like I have different cards for the art now.
100%.
Because I'm like, well, I'm not going to dabble in that, but I do like this art, so let me take it. And
that's fair.
But yeah, I was like, this is too much, too soon going on right now.
I have to pick one or the other type thing.
Yes. Yeah. And I chose the ships.
100%. Like, just that is basically what ended up happening with me for Weiss. Like, I was dabbling in all these other ones, and then I was like, wait, what is this one? And my buddy introduced me to Weiss, and I ended up trading him like an entire Yu-Gi-Oh deck for an entire SAO Gun Gale deck, like when it first dropped. Like, we
Mm-hmm.
just ended up trading like different card game decks at that point because the prices worked out for me. I'm like, yes, and in fact, he owed me money, which was the funniest thing. Um, but but because I got so into that, and I'm like, oh my god, this is actually really fucking fun. How
Mm-hmm.
many sets are there? And I'm just like looking into every single thing, and I'm going, I have to cut stuff out. I have to cut out. I had no problem cutting out MTG at the time. I'm sorry, like
Mm-hmm.
I cut out MTG. I cut back on Yu-Gi-Oh. I still collect it to this day. I still collect stuff to this day, especially like you said with like artwork and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But it's one of those things where I had to just cut so much other stuff, and I'm just like, but it feels worth it in the end. It feels so
Mm-hmm.
worth it in the end to me. I don't know. That's just me. But so I guess once again, like jumping from one tree branch to the next, like you stated. I guess kind of rounding it up and trying to get closed out here in a little bit. Your overall experience with, like, honestly, just in-person tournaments again. Like, even excluding, like, the Bushi Rumble shit, that's whatever. I hope that people enjoyed
Like,
that, but, yeah.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's plenty of people I know that played and they enjoyed it, and then there's also people that just isn't their cup of tea. Like,
Yeah.
the one thing, like, I am grateful in a sense to like the Bushy Road Rumble sort of thing, because it's like it kind of pushed
Mm-hmm.
me to get like a webcam, and also like I play on Discord more often
Yeah.
now just to get practice and everything. So I am thankful for that, to get me into like a different kind of space to like play online and stuff. So
Most
that's
definitely.
cool.
It was,
Just not,
yeah.
yeah.
It was a
It's just
valiant
not my,
effort.
yeah, it was a valiant effort. It's just not my like I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I did the one. I was like, do I want to? And at the time, like I only had like this metal outdoor chair that I had a cat bed on as a cushion. So I was sitting in that for like 7 something hours because of rounds and pairings. I was like, so my back hurt. Now I have a gaming chair because I use it at the desk, and then
Mm-hmm.
also like for doing the streaming and the playing of the video games. And so now I have a better setup, and I was like, would I try it again? Maybe, because like I have something that can actually support my spine. But then it's just like I'm hunched over like I'm Gollum, like, ah, yes,
Just clutching
my
the SP,
precious
going, my
card,
precious.
yes,
Yeah.
my precious, and just like turn cards sideways. Ugh. And like it wasn't enjoyable. Like I felt like I had more free time with in-person events versus online, if that makes sense.
No, 100%. And I've always felt that I've always felt that in general, in terms of like in person, it's a whole, like, even whether it's Yu-Gi-Oh, MTG, Weiss, whatever, it just feels better. It just feels way
Mm-hmm.
better in person to me.
Yeah.
And I don't, obviously also I've met people in like, doing it, obviously even the online spectrum. I've still met a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people with Weiss. So with starting at the podcast
Oh yeah.
itself, I've met a lot of people due to playing it. I've also met, say, you and Bentley and all of them like in person. But
Mm-hmm.
I also still know people to this day from like my very first like Yu-Gi-Oh regionals that I still know to this
Mm-hmm.
day because I randomly played against them one round.
Yeah.
Like it's that kind of, I don't know, just in person, and like meeting up, say, for Weiss in person. It just feels so much better, and it's one of those
Mm-hmm.
things that I've always really enjoyed about a lot of card games anyway. Being able to interact in person to me just feels so much better. Like I said, I'm very grateful for Bushi trying to do the online thing.
Oh
Even
yeah.
even Yu-Gi-Oh and other card games tried the online thing when because of COVID being an
Mm-hmm.
issue, and like that was very much needed to try to keep interest in it and whatnot. So I very much enjoyed that was a thing. But
Yeah.
it does not feel the same. I
Yeah. It
saw it
definitely
happening. Yeah,
doesn't feel the same.
yeah. I saw the shit happening. I
And
was still like, just I can't do this. Give me in person.
oh yeah. Oh, for sure. And like I do, so like when it comes to like in person, so like the closest regional location to me by car is 10 hours one way.
Oh
So
damn.
it's just like it becomes going to any regional is like it's this whole kind of like I am traveling, I'm going to have fun. Like it's a whole like, and then you top like the cherry on top is like tournament card games, turn card sideways sort of
Yes.
thing. And so when it comes to, I associate going and traveling to like all of these regionals and everything. It's like a social event. It's a traveling.
Yes.
I get to eat. Like, I don't even know where Korean barbecue is locally to me at all. So it's like, that's literally, if when I'm go out of town, it's like, ah, yes, I must eat Korean barbecue at least once
No, that is
until
very
next
fair.
time. And
100%.
so, like, it's just stuff like that. It's like, I get, like, it's a whole experience versus me being at a desk. And so, even like talking to people and like meeting people, it's like, oh, like your deck looks so cool. And da, 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 da. I had people, so I have a high rarity afterglow deck
Oh,
that
nice.
people I've posted in groups or like for a Bushy Road survey thing, whatever. I have posted this deck. Some people know about it, and I get asked about it. And so, like with Anaheim, in particular, I had like 2, 3 people at the regional or involved in the like, or even like while I was at like Starbucks or whatever. It's like, oh my god, like, can I see, like, you have the high rarity afterglow deck? It's like, oh, do you want to see it? It's like, here. They're like, ah, and I'm just like, it's triple sleeved. It's okay. Like, you can look through it as long as you don't like bend the card. Like, it's like you're
Exactly.
doing origami or something. Like, it's fine. And so, like, you do get that whole like, oh, let me look at your stuff, and it's like you have that camaraderie.
100%.
And I will tell, like, when I've interacted or talked to people, they're not having a good time because like either the vibes are off or they're doing really bad and like this, that, and the other. And
Hmm.
I tell them, was like, okay, try to, and also like they're traveling, they're not local to the area,
Yeah.
whatever. I was like, what I tell them is like, try to go have like do something fun. It doesn't have to be at this event. And also, like, when it comes to people, it's like, well, I don't know, like, I'm just here and I'm having a bad time. I was like, you're in a room with a whole lot of people that have the same thing in common as you. You can make so many friends. I remember my
Hmm.
first regional was Dallas 2017.
Okay.
So Springfest. I literally made my first Weiss friend outside of like talking to locals or whatever at that regional.
Which is
That they were
amazing.
actually stationed, like they were in the military, they were stationed there, and we got on a conversation because I was playing I can't remember if it was mono red or what, but like it was like one of the first decks I built because it's only been like maybe like 6 or less months since I was playing at that point. But
Hmm.
it was Congo top end, and they liked, and I liked Contai. And it's like, oh my God, let's talk about these boats, sort of thing. And
Hell
then
yeah.
ends up, so this becomes a friendship. We meet in person at this regional, becomes friends, become online friends. I end up traveling, like, we split a case of Kantai Volume 3. So European phase or European reinforcements coming from blah blah
Yeah.
blah in English.
Yeah.
But
The Kashima set is what I like to call it.
yes, the volume 3, we split a case. They lived out of state, like 10 hours away. It gets shipped to my address. I then drive over there, stay over there for the weekend so we can open the case together.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so that's literally like, a lot of times people are like, I don't know how to, like, or they're like antisocial or whatever. It's like, you have the perfect opportunity to talk to someone about something you have in common and make friends. Because if I can literally make, like, talk to someone or make a new friend every regional, or at least be friendly, or like you have something like, it's like, oh, I hate this set. Oh, I hate this set too. Like, there's so much we have in common, even though we're playing against each other. Like,
Yeah.
there's even, it could be anime, it could be the card game, it could be like, ah, yes, that like shirt is super dope, and I have that shirt too, and oh, you like this like fast food place, I do too, because like it you don't get that kind of like personable like experience with online stuff, because I can literally go on a tangent because I've been to like at this point 17 regionals.
Exactly.
So it's just like that's how I get like a huge social interaction or different viewpoints and getting to see things I might not get to see locally or play against. And so it's just like a whole like happy, I can play like shit, complete shit, like complete like just bad, just in the dirt, and I'm still having a good time.
Having a good time. Sorry.
Oh yeah. It's like I'm still having a good time because I'm happy to be there.
100%.
Because I'm happy to see everyone. I'm happy to interact with people. Like winning, awesome. Losing, it could be better.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it just makes me happy versus like it's like online stuff.
I'm the same way with obviously the same way with card games, but to compare it as well to say something like going to anime conventions. Like same thing. I've been going to like the same anime convention minus the years of COVID for like over 10 years at this point. In Raleigh, North Carolina, I've gone to the same one whenever there wasn't a fucking pandemic going on. I've been to other ones as well, and it's the same thing. It's not it's just like with Weiss. Like I've met people through Weiss, through Yu-Gi-Oh and MTG and all this stuff, but I've also met just as many people through, say, going to anime conventions and stuff like that. It's not just like, see, obviously you want to go there in the same sense of, it's a card game, you want to win, you want to do the best you can.
Yeah, like there's a level of competitiveness with the like any card game.
100%. Like I 100%, and you just like never know with some card games how the crowd's going to be. Like that's for sure. But like when you get there and you're like, oh, this is like, oh, there is competitiveness going on, but they're also still fucking chill about it. They're still like completely and totally chill about it. And it's just like, going to, say, an anime convention where you have, oh, I want to go to these panels, but even if I don't go to these panels, I'm still seeing people that I haven't seen in years. Or I have people. There are some friends that I have that the only time I see them is going to that anime convention in Raleigh.
Yeah, like that's the same thing when it comes to like me and going to regionals. It's like the only time I might see X person is when I go to this specific event in this specific like city and state. Like
I'm certain the next time I see you is probably going to be in Atlanta as well if I ever see you again in person. So more than likely.
Hey, come on down.
I actually really want to next year, even if I don't get a chance to play.
Yeah, just come down.
Because I'm just going to go out there and peddle cards.
Super fun. Yeah, exactly.
So
and then like I'm so excited to Joe and I had this like already like before the dates and everything came out. Actually, yesterday we thought it wasn't going to happen, but they changed dates today, and so now it's going to happen because he's off work or whatever. And so it's just like, oh, let's team up. It's like, okay, talk to other friends in that area. It's like, team. It's like, team. And so like within 24 hours, I have a team for Atlanta. And so that's like, I'm it's been so long since.
It's you, Joe, and who else? Do you mind if I ask?
It's really our friend now, because Joe met, his name's Trey.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember his official like not anime, internet.
His anime name. His anime
persona.
Exactly. Fires the gun at head. Anyway, so just that persona, and all I could think was P3.
Yes. I know, I was thinking I was gonna make up like some persona game, like fake things, like Persona 6.
God,
but it was like a small little tidbit in my brain. I was like, I'm not going to even try to build on that.
It's all good. I will do it. I will do it anyway because I love Persona. So that is fair. But like I said, overall, it feels way different in person, and I'm glad it's back. I am very much glad that it's back, and it's
me too.
It's what's revitalized the podcast, to be completely honest, as well. Like in terms of wanting to bring stuff back in. Also, just really fun watching like newer sets. It's really fun not
Oh god, yeah.
watching, everything be dominated by, Aaron bounce back to hand AOT bullshit. So
Mm-hmm.
that's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but overall, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for next year to see what all happens with the newer sets coming out. Fucking Chainsaw
Mm-hmm.
Man and all sorts of stuff.
I know, it's
It's gonna
crazy.
be great.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited about Chainsaw Man.
Yes, that's the first one because I've just the other day completely read all of the manga again just for the fuck of it because I was behind like 4 chapters. I'm like, let's just start at the beginning. So,
Mm-hmm.
so it's just like one of many series.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, I got a question for you now.
Oh no! This
And
doesn't happen.
Yes. What is the one anime, what have you, manga, game, anything that you would like to come to Weiss?
It's the same answer that I have for a series that I want to see become an anime, and that if you ever heard of a series called Siren.
I have not.
Psyren. It is, sadly, the creator has come out and said that he does not want to make it into an anime for some reason. It's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But me and a bunch of other friends have read this manga and it's really good. I would very, very much love for that to, one, be an anime to begin with, but also to be brought into Weiss. I would just think that would be great.
Nice.
Like that is my manga recommendation for the day is go read Siren. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is fucking awesome to me.
I'm gonna have to check that out now.
Otherwise, if we could bring a set over from JP, I would love to have Guilty Crown over here, even though I know it's not that good of a set. I just love Guilty Crown as well.
Yeah, it's one of those like warm fuzzy things.
Like what? Most definitely. But I guess I'll ask you the same thing, and we'll end on this as well. What about you? Is there a series you would love to see brought into Weiss?
Bungo Stray Dogs.
Yo, I'm so hyped for season 4. I'm sorry.
No.
I was rewatching episodes of that the other day.
Yes! I remember. Shoot, was I? Oh, when it actually rolls into Ice or regional. I remember when the Bungo Stray Dogs Dead Apple movie dropped on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
I was actually out of town for a regional, and I got the notification or something. I think I woke up at like 2 a.m. and it was like, boom, the movie is live now. And I'm just like, well, I'm watching this shit in the hotel. And I watched it like 2 times, like back to back or something. And then my friend like wakes up like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I'm watching a movie.
Hell yes. No, that is a very, very good pick. 100%.
Yes. Oh man.
I would love to see it. And they have the material for, I mean, like I said, they're going to make a 4th season. They have already 3 seasons worth of material they can make shit for.
Yep. So. And they also have
in the movie.
Yeah. And they also have like the little, like the Chibi series that they animated that came out as well. They have they just have so much. Yeah. Juan. And then, they just have a bunch. And even like the side stories, all of the,
I had a friend ask me, why is it called Wan? I'm like, that's what the sound a dog makes. For Japanese, they go, Wan, Wan.
Yes.
But it's barking because they're dogs. And they're like, yes. I just see the look behind their eyes of just like, what? Like, just, what? I just broke their reality. Like, it's a dog barking. And I'm like, yes, thank you. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of material that they could grab, even if they didn't want to do like, start with like the beginning, whatever. They could even take like from the novel, because there's so many like side stories and stuff and like alternate universe things. I was like, it can be done.
It can very much be done. That's kind of the issue is like, will it? But at that point, yes.
Probably not.
Give me Akiko. Give me the doctor as a Weiss card. Yes, please.
Yep. Oh, God.
I'm sorry. But with that, we will go ahead and be signing off here. Gothmom, thank you very much for being on. It has been forever since I spoke to you, so I'm so glad to have you back. Thank you so much for joining in.
Oh, you're welcome. I was so like hype and like nostalgic and everything when you asked to like bring me back on, and so I was just like, let's go, let's do this. Like, I miss you.
I'm just sorry that I haven't gotten you back on before now, but you know, it's whatever.
Oh, honestly, it really is whatever.
At
Like,
this point,
life
yeah.
is life.
At this point, I'm calling it now. We get a Bungo Stray Dogs set, you're immediately invited back on so we can just review the fucking set. I don't care.
Yeah, let's fucking go.
So, yeah. But anyway, also thank you to everyone who has been listening so far. Thank y'all for coming by. Please subscribe if you want. If not, hey, just, you know, thanks for listening to us rant about a card game for an hour and a half. So, go check out Gothmom. I will put links to like Twitch and everything into the description. You go follow her, subscribe. Was it Twitch Prime for the Twitch stuff? Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know. Something like, I don't know all the Twitch stuff. I just watch.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
But it's very, like, please go check her out. She is super awesome, and we will sign off for now. Thank y'all very much. Peace out.